Time is more valuable than money. You can get more money, but you cannot get more time. Think about that for a second. Where were you last year? Did you make progress? Or did another 12 months slip through your fingers? Be honest. Are you further ahead? Or are you stuck in the same place, making the same excuses? Most people waste their time without even realizing it. They tell themselves, I'll start tomorrow. But guess what? Tomorrow turns into next week. Next week turns into next year. And before they know it, years have passed, and nothing has changed. Let's get something straight. Time is not on your side. Every second you waste is a second you'll never get back. The opportunities you ignore today may never come again. The dreams you keep pushing aside will stay dreams unless you do something about them. And here's the truth. Successful people aren't necessarily the smartest or the luckiest. They're the ones who value time and use it wisely. So if you're tired of watching life pass you by, if you're done making excuses, if you want to take control and start making things happen, then this message is for you. Today, I'm going to show you how to stop wasting time, take control of your life, and start moving towards the success you deserve. Stay with me for the next few minutes as I give you the exact mindset and strategies you need to turn things around, starting today. Let's dive in. Number 1, you get what you put in. Life is a mirror. It reflects back whatever you put into it. If you invest time in growth, discipline, and learning, you will reap rewards beyond what you can imagine. But if you waste your time on distractions, laziness, and excuses, you'll end up with nothing but regret. It's a simple truth, yet so many people ignore it. They spend hours scrolling through social media, binge-watching shows, and procrastinating, yet they expect success to magically appear. That's not how it works. Think of it like farming. A farmer doesn't wake up one day and suddenly find his land full of crops. No, first, he sows the seeds, waters them, and patiently takes care of them. Only then does he reap the harvest. Now imagine if that farmer decided not to plant anything at all and instead wasted the entire planting season doing nothing. When harvest time comes, what will he get? Nothing. The same applies to your life. What you plant today determines what you harvest tomorrow. If you waste time, you will get nothing in return. But if you start using your time wisely, reading, learning new skills, building your career, improving your health, you will eventually see the results. But here's the kicker. You don't just get exactly what you put in, you get more. The little efforts you make today will compound over time. Small daily actions, when done consistently, create massive results. On the other hand, small bad habits, wasting time, neglecting responsibilities, ignoring opportunities, will also compound, but in the wrong direction. Success and failure both follow this same law. If you invest in yourself, your dreams, and your future, life will reward you generously. If you neglect your time, life will penalize you. The difference between the successful and the unsuccessful is not talent, intelligence, or luck. It's how they use their time. So what are you planting today? Are you sowing the seeds of discipline, learning, and action? Or are you planting seeds of procrastination, laziness, and regret? Whatever you sow, you will eventually reap. Choose wisely. Number 2, the real cost of wasted time. Time is slipping away. Every day, every hour, every minute, it's moving, whether you use it or waste it. But here's the harsh truth. Wasting time is more expensive than you think. Most people don't realize the true cost of lost time because they can't see it right away. If you lose money, you can earn it back. If you lose an opportunity, another one might come along. But if you lose time, it's gone forever. Think about it. How many hours have you spent watching TV, scrolling through your phone, or engaging in meaningless conversations that add nothing to your future? How many days have gone by where you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow, but tomorrow never came? The problem with wasting time is that it doesn't seem like a big deal in the moment. Watching one more episode, sleeping in for another hour, skipping a workout, pushing a goal to next week, it all seems harmless. But multiply those little moments by months and years, and suddenly you find yourself stuck in the same place while others have moved ahead. Here's a simple exercise. Imagine someone offers you $86,400 every morning. The only rule? You must spend it all in one day. Whatever you don't use is gone forever. Would you waste that money? Of course not. You would invest it wisely. Use it to build a better future. Now understand this. Every day you are given 86,400 seconds. Once they're gone, they never come back. Yet most people throw away their time like it's worthless, not realizing it is the most valuable asset they will ever have. Let's take a look at real-life consequences. There are people out there who once had big dreams. They wanted to start a business, travel the world, build something meaningful, get in shape, write a book, or change their career. But they kept delaying. They kept saying, "I'll do it later." Now years have passed, and they're stuck in jobs they hate, carrying extra weight they never lost, and living a life far below what they once imagined. The dreams are still there, buried under a pile of procrastination and wasted time. They never truly failed. They just never started. And here's the painful truth. Regret lasts longer than discipline. The temporary comfort of wasting time will always be replaced by the long-term pain of looking back and realizing how much more you could have done. The successful people you admire, they have the same 24 hours as you. The difference? They value every second. They treat time as an investment, not an expense. They know that what you do today determines what you get tomorrow. So how do you stop wasting time? First, become aware of your daily habits. Track how much time you spend on distractions versus productive activities. You will be shocked. Second, set clear priorities. Know exactly what you need to do each day to move closer to your goals. Finally, develop the habit of urgency. Stop waiting for the perfect time. The perfect time doesn't exist. The only time you have is now. If you don't take control of your time, life will take control for you. The years will pass whether you use them or not. The only question is, will you be proud of how you spent them, or will you be filled with regret? The choice is yours. Number 3, who are you listening to? Your life is shaped by the voices you listen to, the advice you take, the people you surround yourself with, the books you read, the content you consume. These things determine the direction of your future more than you realize. The problem? Most people are following the wrong voices. They listen to friends who are just as lost as they are. They take advice from family members who have never built the kind of life they want. They let social media, entertainment, and negativity dictate their thinking. And then they wonder why they aren't getting anywhere. Here's a simple truth. You are being influenced, whether you realize it or not. Every conversation, every piece of content, every interaction leaves a mark on your mind. The question is, are those influences pushing you forward or holding you back? Think about it. Who do you spend the most time with? Are they ambitious, driven, and focused? Or are they lazy, negative, and full of excuses? If you're constantly around people who waste time, complain about life, and never take action, guess what? You will start thinking the same way. No one is immune to influence. Look around. The people you associate with are either lifting you up or dragging you down. If your closest friends don't push you to be better, they are holding you back. This doesn't mean you need to cut people out of your life completely, but you do need to be intentional about who you give your time and energy to. Some people will inspire you, challenge you, and push you to grow. Others will drain you, distract you, and keep you stuck in the same cycle of mediocrity. Choose wisely. And it's not just people, it's the information you consume. If you spend hours watching meaningless content, reading gossip, and filling your mind with negativity, you are programming yourself for failure. But if you make a habit of reading books that challenge you, listening to mentors who have achieved real success, and surrounding yourself with positive, growth-minded individuals, your thinking will change. And when your thinking changes, your actions change. And when your actions change, your life changes. Here's a simple test. If your thoughts were a product of the 5 people you spend the most time with, would you be happy with where your life is headed? If the answer is no, it's time to make a change. Successful people are intentional about their influences. They don't leave it to chance. They seek out mentors, whether in person or through books, courses, and podcasts. They invest in relationships with people who are ahead of them, people who can guide them, challenge them, and hold them accountable. If you want to change your life, you have to change the input that's shaping your mind. Maybe you've been following the wrong plan. Maybe you've been listening to people who mean well but don't know any better. Maybe you've been surrounding yourself with voices that tell you to settle, to wait, to be realistic, to take it easy. If so, it's time to take control. The good news, you can start today. You don't have to wait for permission. You don't need approval. You can decide right now to start filling your mind with the right influences. Pick up a book written by someone who has achieved what you want to achieve. Listen to a podcast that expands your thinking instead of numbing your mind. Spend time with people who are serious about their goals. Have conversations that inspire action instead of excuses. You don't have to cut everyone out, but you do have to protect your mind. You wouldn't let someone dump garbage in your living room, so why let them dump garbage into your mind? The voices you listen to will shape your future. Make sure they are leading you somewhere worth going. Number 4, the 10-year test. Take a moment and fast forward 10 years from now. Picture your life. Where are you? What kind of person have you become? Are you financially free or still struggling? Are you in the best shape of your life? Or are you worse off than before? Are you living with purpose? Or are you stuck in the same patterns of wasted time, excuses, and regrets? Here's the uncomfortable truth. If you keep doing exactly what you're doing right now, your future is already decided. Most people don't realize this. They think life just happens. They assume that someday things will magically improve. But life doesn't work that way. If you don't make changes today, you will wake up 10 years from now in the exact same place, only older, more frustrated, and filled with even more regret. Let me give you a simple but powerful exercise. Imagine meeting your future self, the version of you 10 years from now. What would they say to you? Would they thank you for making smart choices, using your time wisely, and pushing through the hard days? Or would they be disappointed, frustrated, even angry that you wasted the last decade doing nothing? This is what I call the 10-year test, and it's a reality check most people never take. Let's look at two different paths. Person A and Person B start at the exact same place today. They have the same opportunities, the same challenges, the same potential. But Person A decides to take control of their time. They start setting goals, taking action, making small improvements every single day. They invest time in learning, building skills, improving their health, and growing financially. Person B, on the other hand, keeps living the same way. They wake up late, scroll through social media for hours, binge watch TV, and tell themselves they'll start next week. They waste time on distractions instead of using it to build their future. Now, fast forward 10 years. Person A is thriving. They've built a successful career or business, improved their health, grown in confidence, and created financial freedom. Their life is full of purpose and progress. Person B, however, is still struggling. They are in the same job, earning the same paycheck, facing the same problems. Their health has declined, their dreams have faded, and they feel stuck. They look back and wonder, where did all the time go? The painful part, it wasn't one big decision that created this difference. It was the small daily choices that added up over time. Life doesn't change in an instant. It changes in the micro decisions you make every single day. A person doesn't become fit overnight. They make small choices daily to eat better and exercise. A business doesn't become successful overnight. It grows because of small, consistent efforts. A person doesn't wake up wealthy. They build financial discipline, invest wisely, and create opportunities over time. But this rule also works in reverse. Just like small daily actions can lead to incredible success, small daily bad habits can lead to failure. Every wasted hour adds up. Every excuse you make pushes you further away from your goals. Every opportunity you ignore, every book you don't read, every day you choose comfort over discipline. It all compounds. Think about this. If you start reading just 10 pages a day, in 10 years, you will have read hundreds of books that can completely transform your thinking. But if you choose to waste that time instead, 10 years from now, you will still be in the same place, wondering why nothing changed. And here's something even scarier. 10 years from now, you will be older, not younger. Your energy won't be the same. Your opportunities won't be the same. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to start. That's why right now is the most powerful time of your life. So ask yourself, if I continue on my current path, will I be proud of where I end up in 10 years? Will my future self thank me or blame me for how I used my time? If I don't make a change now, when will I? The next 10 years will pass, no matter what. The only question is, will they be years of growth, success, and achievement, or years of wasted time and regret? It's time to take control. The clock is ticking. What will you do with the time you have left? Number 5, the power of small wins. Most people believe success comes from one big breakthrough, one lucky moment, or one major decision that changes everything overnight. But that's not how success works. The truth is, massive success is built on small, consistent wins. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment or making one big move. It's about stacking small victories, one on top of another, until they create unstoppable momentum. Think about a snowball rolling down a hill. At first, it's small, almost insignificant. But as it keeps rolling, it gathers more snow, gets bigger, and eventually becomes so powerful that nothing can stop it. That's exactly how progress works. Tiny actions, repeated daily, build up into massive results over time. But here's the problem. Most people underestimate small wins. They ignore them because they seem too insignificant. They think if they can't do something big right now, it's not worth doing at all. That's a dangerous mindset, because every big success starts as a small step. Let's take fitness as an example. Imagine someone who wants to lose weight and get in shape. They look at their goal and feel overwhelmed. I need to lose 50 pounds. That's going to take forever. So instead of starting, they do nothing. But let's look at the person who understands the power of small wins. They don't try to change everything overnight. Instead, they commit to walking for just 10 minutes a day. That's it, just 10 minutes. At first, it doesn't seem like much, but after a week, they start feeling better. After a month, they start seeing progress. Eventually, 10 minutes turns into 20, then 30, then a full workout routine. 6 months later, they're in the best shape of their life, not because they made one big decision, but because they took small steps consistently. This applies to every area of life. Want to be financially successful? Start by saving just a small percentage of your income, even if it's only a few dollars a week. Want to learn a new skill? Start by practicing for just 15 minutes a day. Want to become more confident? Start by making eye contact and speaking up in conversations. Small actions may seem like nothing in the moment, but over time they create massive change. The reason small wins are so powerful is that they create momentum. Have you ever noticed how much easier it is to keep going once you've already started? That's momentum. When you start winning, even in small ways, you feel good about yourself. You start to believe in your ability to make progress, and that belief is what fuels even bigger wins. On the other hand, doing nothing creates negative momentum. The more you procrastinate, the more stuck you feel. The more you avoid action, the harder it becomes to take action. You get trapped in a cycle of inaction, waiting for motivation to strike before you do anything. But here's the truth. Motivation doesn't come first. Action comes first. People wait to feel motivated before they start working on their goals. But that's backwards. You don't take action because you feel motivated. You feel motivated because you take action. When you complete a small task, no matter how insignificant it seems, your brain releases dopamine, the feel-good chemical that makes you want to do more. That's why checking things off a to-do list feels so satisfying. It's a small win, and small wins push you forward. Let's say you have a big project you've been avoiding. You keep putting it off because it feels overwhelming. But what if you just took one small step? What if you just wrote the first sentence, made the first call, organized the first file? Suddenly you're in motion. You feel a small sense of accomplishment. And that makes it easier to keep going. Successful people understand this. They don't rely on motivation. They rely on habits. They don't wait for the perfect time. They just start no matter how small. Think about some of the most successful companies in the world. Apple didn't start with the iPhone. It started in a small garage with a simple computer prototype. Amazon didn't begin as a massive online marketplace. It started as a small bookstore run out of a home office. Every major success story begins the same way, with a small start, consistent effort, and the power of momentum. So what small action can you take today? What's one tiny win you can achieve right now? Don't focus on the entire mountain. Just take the first step. Small wins lead to bigger wins, and bigger wins lead to massive success. Start small, stay consistent, and watch how your life transforms. Number 6, the 4 emotions that change everything. Emotions are powerful. They drive every decision, every action, and every result in your life. Some emotions hold you back: fear, doubt, laziness, and frustration. But others, they can completely change your life in an instant. If you want to stop wasting time, if you want to break free from the habits that are keeping you stuck, you need to understand the 4 emotions that create transformation: disgust, decision, desire, and resolve. When these emotions hit you hard enough, they force you to change. They push you to take action. They turn ordinary people into unstoppable forces. Let's talk about these 4 emotions in details. 1. Disgust. Disgust doesn't sound like a positive emotion, but it can be the most powerful turning point in your life. Think about a moment when you felt completely fed up. When you said, "I can't live like this anymore." That feeling of absolute frustration can ignite change like nothing else. Disgust happens when you reach a breaking point. Maybe you've been broke for too long. Maybe you've been out of shape for too long. Maybe you've let people walk over you for too long. And one day, something snaps inside you. You look at your situation and say, "That's it. No more. I refuse to live like this another day." That moment of disgust is powerful because it kills excuses. When you've had enough, you stop blaming circumstances, stop making excuses, and start taking responsibility. Many people have their whole lives changed because of one moment of disgust. A man tired of being broke finally decides to start saving and investing. A woman tired of being out of shape commits to transforming her health. A person sick of wasting time finally creates a plan and sticks to it. It all starts with disgust. The question is, have you had enough yet? Or are you still comfortable enough to stay the same? 2. Decision. Change doesn't happen just because you want it. It happens when you decide. The word decide comes from the Latin word decide, which means to cut off. That means when you truly decide something, you cut off all other possibilities. There's no going back, no second guessing, no maybe someday. It's done. You're all in. The problem is, most people never really decide. They say they want to do better, but they never commit to it. They say they want to start a business, but they never take the first step. They say they want to get in shape, but they never make it a priority. Why? Because they haven't really decided. A real decision is followed by immediate action. The moment you decide, you do something. You don't wait. You don't hesitate. You move. Every success story begins with a moment of decision. A person who was tired of working a dead-end job finally decides to start their own business. Someone who has struggled with confidence for years finally decides to break out of their shell. A person who has wasted time for too long finally decides to take control of their life. If you're still waiting, still hesitating, still thinking about it, then you haven't really decided. Stop thinking. Decide today. 3. Desire. Desire is the fuel that keeps you moving forward. Without it, you won't have the energy or motivation to keep going. The bigger your desire, the more unstoppable you become. When you really want something, when you crave it, when you need it, when you can't imagine living without it, you will do whatever it takes to get it. But most people don't have strong enough desires. They kind of want success, but not enough to work for it. They kind of want financial freedom, but not enough to sacrifice for it. They kind of want to be in great shape, but not enough to put in the effort. And that's why they stay stuck. Ask yourself, how badly do I want this? If the answer isn't more than anything, then you're not ready yet. Real desire makes excuses disappear. Real desire makes waking up early easy. Real desire makes discipline effortless. If you don't have that kind of desire yet, find a reason to create it. Attach your goal to something deeply meaningful. A family you want to take care of. A dream you refuse to give up on. A version of yourself you are determined to become. 4. Resolve. Resolve is when you take all the emotions above and turn them into an unshakable commitment. It's the moment when you say, I will make this happen. No matter what. No excuses, no distractions, no quitting. Resolve is the difference between people who try and people who succeed. It's what separates the dreamers from the doers. People with resolve don't quit when things get hard. They don't let obstacles stop them. They don't listen to negative people. They don't allow setbacks to break them. They keep going, no matter what. Think of anyone who has ever achieved something great. They didn't just hope for it. They didn't just wish for it. They committed. They made up their mind. They said, I will succeed or die trying. And that level of determination is why they made it. So let me ask you, do you have that kind of resolve? Have you decided that you will succeed, no matter what? Have you committed to your goals at a level where failure is not an option? If not, why? What's holding you back? Disgust makes you realize something has to change. Decision forces you to take action. Desire gives you the energy to keep going. And resolve makes sure you never stop. These 4 emotions can completely transform your life, but only if you let them. So the question is, which of these emotions do you feel right now? If you're still comfortable, still making excuses, still waiting for the right time, then nothing will change. But if you feel the fire of disgust, decision, desire, or resolve, then today is the day your life starts moving forward. Now the choice is yours. What will you do with it? Number 7, the pain of regret versus the pain of discipline. Every choice you make comes with a cost. There's no escaping it. You either pay the price of discipline or the price of regret. But make no mistake, you will pay. The question is, which one do you want to live with? Discipline may feel difficult in the moment, but regret lasts a lifetime. Think about it. Waking up early to work on your dreams is hard, but waking up years later realizing you wasted your potential is harder. Sticking to a workout routine is hard, but looking in the mirror and feeling disappointed in yourself is harder. Investing money and living below your means is hard, but struggling financially for decades is harder. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret stays with you forever. Most people don't think about this until it's too late. They take the easy way out, avoiding discomfort, delaying effort, and pushing responsibilities to tomorrow. But tomorrow turns into next week. Next week turns into next year. And before they know it, they are looking back at years of wasted time, wondering where it all went. They see people around them who took action, who stayed disciplined, who sacrificed early so they could enjoy later. And then it hits them. They could have done the same, but they didn't. And that realization stings deeper than any short-term struggle ever could. Have you ever met an older person who is full of regret? They don't talk about the things they did, they talk about the things they didn't do. The business they never started, the risks they never took, the time they wasted. And if you listen carefully, you'll notice a pattern. It's not the mistakes they made that haunt them, it's the opportunities they ignored. Regret is a silent killer. It creeps up on you slowly. It starts as small what-ifs and maybes. But over time, it turns into deep frustration and disappointment. It eats away at your confidence, your energy, your happiness. And the worst part, you can't go back. You can't rewind the clock. You can't get those years back. That's why you must decide right now to choose discipline over regret. Discipline is not easy. It demands effort, consistency, and sacrifice. But it is always worth it. When you push through laziness, when you show up even when you don't feel like it, when you stay committed despite challenges, that is what builds character, resilience, and success. Think of anyone who has achieved something great. They didn't get there by luck or wishful thinking. They got there by doing the work, day in and day out. They felt the same temptations as you. The temptation to sleep in, to skip the hard work, to make excuses, but they refused to give in. They chose the pain of discipline over the pain of regret. And because of that, they now live a life most people only dream of. Let me tell you a simple truth. If you don't sacrifice for your dreams will become the sacrifice. There is no way around it. You either suffer for a few years while building your future, or you suffer for the rest of your life wondering what could have been. Think about an athlete training for a big competition. They wake up before sunrise, push their body to the limit, follow strict diets, and practice for hours while others relax. In the moment, it's hard. But when they stand on the podium holding their trophy, looking back at the journey, it was all worth it. Now imagine another athlete who had the same potential but made excuses instead. They skipped workouts, ate whatever they wanted, and stayed in their comfort zone. Fast forward to the day of the competition, they're sitting in the stands watching others succeed, knowing they could have been up there too. That pain is worse than any training session. This applies to every area of life. If you want financial freedom, you must have the discipline to save, invest, and live below your means. If you want great health, you must have the discipline to exercise and eat well. If you want meaningful relationships, you must have the discipline to communicate, be present, and put in the effort. If you want success in any field, you must have the discipline to show up, learn, practice, and keep going, even when progress is slow. Here's the best part. Discipline doesn't just prevent regret, it creates pride. When you live with discipline, you feel good about yourself. You walk with confidence, knowing you are in control of your life. Every time you push through resistance, you build a stronger version of yourself. Every time you make the right choice, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more. So what will you choose? The easy road today, which leads to regret tomorrow, or the hard road today, which leads to success, fulfillment, and pride? The truth is, time will pass either way. 5 years from now, you will either be proud of what you did or filled with regret about what you didn't do. Discipline is hard, but regret is harder. Choose wisely. Number 8, the truth about risk. Risk is unavoidable. No matter what you do in life, there's always a risk involved. The problem is, Most people fear risk so much that they choose to do nothing instead. They think that by avoiding risk, they're playing it safe. But here's the truth. The biggest risk of all is doing nothing. Think about this. Everything you have today is the result of the risks you took in the past. If you have a job, it's because you took the risk to apply. If you have a skill, it's because you took the risk to learn it. If you have a relationship, it's because you took the risk to connect with someone. Every opportunity, every success, every breakthrough comes from taking a chance. Yet so many people live in fear of risk. They hesitate, overthink, and second-guess themselves until they miss out on everything. But let's look at the other side. What happens when you don't take risks? You stay in the same place. You never grow. You never reach your full potential. And eventually you end up living with deep regret, wondering what could have been. The irony is that avoiding risk is actually the riskiest thing you can do. Because while you're standing still, time is moving forward. While you're hesitating, opportunities are passing by. While you're playing it safe, other people are taking action and getting ahead. Successful people understand this. They don't see risk as something to fear. They see it as a necessary part of growth. They know that every great achievement comes with uncertainty. But instead of letting that uncertainty paralyze them, they use it as fuel. They take calculated risks. They bet on themselves. They push past fear and step into the unknown, knowing that even if they fail, they'll learn and grow from the experience. Look at the world's most successful entrepreneurs, athletes, artists, and leaders. They all had to take risks. They all had moments of doubt, fear, and uncertainty. But they didn't let those feelings stop them. They moved forward anyway, because they knew that the cost of inaction was far greater than the cost of failure. And let's talk about failure for a moment. Most people fear risk because they fear failure. But failure isn't the end. It's part of the process. The most successful people in history have all failed, many times. But they kept going. They learned from their mistakes. They adjusted, improved, and tried again. That's the difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck. It's not that successful people never fail. It's that they never stop. So let's break this down. What are the real risks in life? Is it the risk of starting a business and failing? Or is it the risk of spending 40 years in a job you hate, earning just enough to survive, only to retire with nothing to show for it? Is it the risk of getting rejected when you go after what you want? Or is it the risk of never trying at all and wondering for the rest of your life what could have been? Is it the risk of losing money on an investment? Or is it the risk of working paycheck to paycheck forever because you were too scared to take a chance? Most people are afraid to take risks because they focus only on what they might lose. But successful people focus on what they might gain. They understand that risk and reward go hand in hand. The greater the risk, the greater the potential reward. And even if they fail, they gain something even more valuable: experience, knowledge, and resilience. The key is to take smart risks. This doesn't mean being reckless. It means evaluating your options, making informed decisions, and then moving forward with confidence. It means understanding that no path is completely risk-free. But some risks are worth taking because the potential payoff is life-changing. Ask yourself this: what have you been avoiding because of fear? What opportunities have you passed up because you were too scared to take a risk? What dreams have you put on hold because you were waiting for the right time? Here's the truth: there is no perfect time. There is no moment when all risks disappear and everything is guaranteed to work out. If you wait for that moment, you'll be waiting forever. The best time to take action is now. Think of it this way. Imagine you're standing at the edge of a diving board. You want to jump, but fear kicks in. You start thinking about all the things that could go wrong. What if the water is too cold? What if you land wrong? What if you embarrass yourself? So you just stand there frozen, waiting for the fear to disappear. But it doesn't. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to jump. Now, what happens when you finally take the leap? The moment you hit the water, you realize it wasn't as bad as you thought. You might even feel a rush of excitement, of energy, of accomplishment. And suddenly you're no longer afraid. The fear was only there before you jumped, not after. That's how risk works. The hardest part is making the decision to go for it. Once you do, you realize it wasn't as scary as you imagined. So let me ask you, are you going to keep standing on the edge, waiting for the right time? Or are you going to take the leap? Are you going to let fear of risk hold you back? Or are you going to embrace it, move forward, and create the life you truly want? The choice is yours. Just remember, the biggest risk of all is doing nothing. Number 9. How to set goals and actually achieve them. Most people talk about goals, but few ever achieve them. Why? Because they don't take goal setting seriously. They think of goals as something they hope to achieve, rather than something they must achieve. They write them down once, then forget about them. They start off excited, but as soon as things get difficult, they quit. The truth is, setting goals isn't just about writing down a few dreams. It's about creating a clear, actionable, and disciplined plan that forces results. If you don't have clear goals, you're just drifting. You wake up every day without direction, hoping something good will happen. But success doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you have a specific target and a relentless commitment to reaching it. If you don't know where you're going, how will you ever get there? A person without goals is like a ship without a destination. It just floats around, controlled by the wind and the waves, never making progress. So how do you set goals in a way that actually works? It starts with clarity. Most people fail because their goals are too vague. Saying, I want to be rich or I want to lose weight isn't enough. A real goal is specific, measurable, and time-bound. Instead of saying, I want to be rich, say, I want to save and invest $50,000 within the next 2 years. Instead of saying, I want to get fit, say, I will lose 20 pounds in the next 6 months by working out 4 times a week and eating clean. The more specific you are, the more real your goal becomes. Next, you need a plan. A goal without a plan is just a wish. If you want to achieve something, you need to break it down into daily and weekly actions. If your goal is to save $50,000 in 2 years, how much do you need to save every month, every week? What expenses do you need to cut? What extra income do you need to generate? If your goal is to lose 20 pounds, what foods will you eat? What exercises will you do? What time will you work out each day? A great goal is one that forces you into action. But here's the hard truth. Just setting a goal and making a plan isn't enough. Most people set goals, make plans, and then never follow through. That's because they lack commitment and accountability. If you're serious about achieving your goals, you need to make sure you can't escape them. Tell someone about your goal, a friend, a mentor, a coach, someone who will check in on you and call you out if you slack off. Better yet, make the consequences of failure painful. For example, if you want to quit a bad habit, give a friend $500 and tell them to keep it unless you prove that you've broken the habit. If you want to wake up early, promise a friend you'll pay them money every time you sleep in. When you add real consequences, your mind stops making excuses. Now here's the most important part. Review your goals daily. Most people write down their goals once and forget about them. But if you don't see your goals every single day, you'll lose focus. You need to remind yourself of your mission constantly. Write your goals on sticky notes and place them where you'll see them on your bathroom mirror, your desk, your fridge. Read them out loud every morning and night. Visualize yourself achieving them. The more you keep your goals in front of you, the more your subconscious mind will push you toward them. But even with all this, there will be challenges. There will be days when you don't feel like working, days when you feel stuck, days when nothing seems to be happening. This is where most people quit. They expect progress to be smooth, and when things get tough, they lose motivation. But real success is about pushing through, even when motivation fades. If you want to achieve your goals, you need to develop unshakable discipline. Discipline means doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline is what keeps you moving forward. When you're tired, when you're bored, when you don't see immediate results, that's when you need discipline the most. And here's something most people don't realize. Your goals should scare you. If your goal doesn't make you a little uncomfortable, it's probably too small. You should aim so high that it forces you to grow. If your goals are too easy, they won't inspire you. But when you set a goal so big that it pushes you out of your comfort zone, that's when real transformation happens. Now let's address the biggest lie people tell themselves about goals. I'll start later. Later is a myth. Later becomes never. If you wait for the perfect time, you will wait forever. The perfect time to start was yesterday. The next best time is right now. Look at your life right now. Are you actively working toward a meaningful goal, or are you just existing? Are you pushing yourself every day, or are you just going through the motions? If the answer is no, it's time to change that. So here's what you need to do today. Write down your top 3 goals. Make them clear, specific, and measurable. Break them down into small daily actions. What will you do every single day to move closer to them? Create accountability. Tell someone about your goals. Set up a system that forces you to stay on track. Review your goals daily. Read them, visualize them, and stay focused. Take action right now. Don't wait until tomorrow. Don't wait until next week. Do something immediately. Your goals have the power to change your life, but only if you take them seriously. Most people never achieve their goals because they never commit to them fully. Don't be like most people. Be the exception. The clock is ticking. What will you do with the time you have left? Number 10. Time to take action. No more excuses. Enough thinking. Enough planning. Enough waiting. It's time to act. You've heard all the reasons why wasting time is a mistake. You've learned about the power of small wins, the importance of discipline, and the price of regret. Now, the only thing left is to do something about it. Because at the end of the day, all the knowledge in the world means nothing if you don't take action. This is where most people fail. They consume endless motivational videos, read dozens of books, and listen to powerful speeches. But they never act. They feel inspired for a moment, but they go right back to their old habits. They keep waiting for the right time, as if someday the perfect moment will arrive when everything aligns, when fear disappears, when they finally feel ready. But let me tell you the truth, that day will never come. There will always be reasons to wait. There will always be distractions. There will always be doubts. But those who succeed are the ones who act anyway. You don't have to have the perfect plan. You don't have to know all the answers. You just have to start. Start messy. Start uncertain. Start scared. But start. Because once you do, momentum kicks in. And momentum is the most powerful force in the world. The hardest part of anything is the beginning. Once you get moving, everything becomes easier. Think about a car at a complete stop. If you try to push it, it takes serious effort to get it rolling. But once it's moving, it becomes much easier to keep going. That's exactly how action works. The first step is the hardest, but once you take it, the next step becomes easier. And the next one, even easier. But if you do nothing, you stay stuck. And here's what you need to understand. Inaction is a decision. Every day you delay is a day you are choosing to stay the same. You are making a choice whether you realize it or not. The question is, are you choosing growth or are you choosing regret? The biggest enemy of action is excuses. And excuses sound reasonable when you say them. I don't have time. I don't know how to start. I don't have the resources. I'm too tired. I'm too young. I'm too old. But let's be real. Those are just stories you're telling yourself to avoid discomfort. Because the truth is, there are people with fewer resources, less time, more challenges, and worse circumstances, who are still making things happen. If you don't have time, wake up earlier. Stay up later. Cut out distractions. If you don't know how to start, research, ask questions, learn. If you don't have resources, start small. Do what you can with what you have. The point is, there is always a way if you're serious. But most people aren't serious. They like the idea of success, but they don't like the work it takes to get there. And that's why they stay stuck. So what's the solution? Make action your default setting. Stop overthinking. Stop doubting. Stop waiting for someone to tell you what to do. Just move. Even if you don't know exactly what to do something. Take one small step, because one small step leads to another, and before you know it, you're further ahead than you ever thought possible. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out, but you do need to move. Because if you don't, nothing will ever change. If you want to be successful, make this a rule. Never leave a moment of motivation without taking action. If you feel inspired right now, do something before the feeling fades. Write down your goal. Make a commitment. Take the first step. It doesn't matter how small it is, just do something. Because if you don't, this will just be another moment of temporary motivation that leads to nothing. The truth is, most people will hear this message, feel fired up for a few minutes, and then do absolutely nothing. They will go back to scrolling, watching TV, wasting time, and repeating the same cycle. But a few, the ones who truly want to change, will act. They will take this message and use it. And those are the people who years from now will look back and say, that was the moment everything changed. Which group will you be in? The next time you feel like saying, I'll do it later, remind yourself of this. Later becomes never. The only time you have is now. So stop waiting, stop making excuses, stop wasting time. Take action. Today, right now. Time doesn't stop. It doesn't pause for you to figure things out. It doesn't wait for you to feel ready. Every second that passes is a second you will never get back. And now, after everything you've heard, you have a choice. Continue wasting time or take control of your life. Look back at the last few years. Are you proud of how you've spent your time? Have you made progress? Or have you been trapped in the same habits, the same routine, the same excuses? If the answer isn't what you want it to be, then this is your wake-up call. There are two types of people in life: those who wish things were different, and those who make things different. Wishing doesn't change anything. Hope alone won't get you anywhere. Only action creates results. Only discipline, commitment, and effort will take you where you want to go. And here's something to remember: you don't have unlimited time. Stop assuming you have years to waste. Stop believing that someday will magically bring you success. Someday is not a strategy. If you don't start today, you'll wake up a year from now in the exact same place, full of regret, wondering why you didn't take action when you had the chance. So what will you do now? Will you go back to wasting time, making excuses, and waiting for the perfect moment? Or will you make the decision to change, to act, to build the future you truly want? The clock is ticking. The next year, the next 5 years, the next 10 years, they will pass no matter what. The only question is, will you be proud of what you did with them? The time to act is now. No more waiting, no more excuses, no more wasted time. Go make it happen.